Yeah. Yeah. He's from Canada. He's a doctor. He's filled with accolades and stuff. Yeah. Trying to share it here, but a doctor?
Hold on. We are live right now, huh?
Oh. Oh, okay.
All right. All right. So, my dear fellow listeners and viewers, good evening once again, and welcome to another edition of the Dr. Narine Dat Show. For those of you who have watched us and listened to us in the past will know exactly what we do here. Obviously, our show is very, very diverse. In the past, we have had politicians. Obviously, we have had musicians, everyday people. We talk about mental health, addiction, you name it. We have done it all on this show in some shape or form. And today is no different. It is no different. But the only difference is that we'll be focusing a lot on the situation in Guyana as it relates to the most recent unfortunate situation. And many of you know exactly what I'm talking about. And because of that, and as a born Guyanese, and the fact that I've watched and seen what has been going on, so to speak, I have decided to choose somebody who's not a Guyanese, somebody who is not a politician, because we want to look at things from a whole different lens, right? But speaking of that, I've chosen somebody who has a likeness for Guyana and the people of Guyana. In fact, he visited most recently to do a very special project, and I'll talk about the project at the very end and showcase a little bit of that project. But I want to bring him on so that he can share his perspective, in a sense, how he's managing this unfortunate situation. I'm using that term for now because many people know exactly what I'm talking about. So, Ashay, welcome to the show. How are you doing this evening?
Hi, good evening, Dr. Narayan. Thank you so much for having me on this platform. I want to say good evening to all the listeners all around the world who listens to you and us. And again, it's a kind of bittersweet to be on this evening because usually we are, talking about a lot of interesting, happy moments. And tonight are one of those events or moments that we are having where it's going to be filled with mixed emotions. So thanks and good evening to everyone. This is yours truly, Ashay. It's so nice to be here, Doctor.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here. So, before I get into anything in terms of your most recent visit and what you think of this whole different situation, I want to play a clip here so that folks can kind of engage with us, kind of thing. And so I'm going to start off by a clip that I think is most appropriate. And so let's take a listen here.
through your mind?
It's unimaginable. It's tragic. All day since early this morning, I've been talking to family members. And if you listen to the stories of these families, these are very ordinary families, working families, families who are sacrificing every single day for their children, grandparents who are bringing home their grandchildren for the joys of the holidays, the August holidays after school, to spend those holidays with them, whether in whether in Maburuma, Port Kaichuma, Smith Creek, and the pain, the agony of parents, grandparents, brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, nephews, nieces, and the story behind every single one of uh, these persons we have lost, and even the survivor. I've listened to more than 70 stories about their life, their work, their family, their sacrifices. This is deep. This is unimaginable. This is at a scale that one cannot comprehend. And as much as I can do, as much as I can be here with them, I will do that. Uh, you know, it cannot be explained. The level of grief, emotional trauma, emotional shock. But all day I've seen the men and women in uniform, the Coast Guard, the fishermen, going out there and retrieving these bodies, uh, the health personnel, the health workers, the regional leadership here in Region 2 and Region 1, the young people volunteering late in the night. We're going to be here all night. Uh, Tells you about the spirit of the Guyanese people, our ability to come together in moments like these. Uh, as I said earlier today, we will determine the level of national grief and announce how, as a nation, we will treat this tragedy. But it is emotionally taxing, psychologically draining. Physically, I can only feel the pain and imagine the pain working with these families and these people through their pain. I want to also recognize, as I've shown you also, from the time the incident occurred, I was on.
So I'm gonna pause that. Folks have seen that and whatnot. You can still hear me and see me, right? I just want to make sure because we're doing live
I
show
can
here.
I can see you. I can see you, doctor, but the volume just went really low.
How about now?
Same,
N- Now?
the same. Yeah, my volume is all the way up.
Yeah. So folks, so while we are figuring this out, give me the thumbs up if you can hear me. For those of you who are watching or listening right now, give us the thumbs up so that we know for sure you can hear us. This is what happens when we do a live show, right? So how about Ashaay? You can hear me at all? No?
I can hear you, but not as I was before. But that's okay. We can work with this.
We will work with what we have.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll work with what we have here. Yeah, that's kind of strange because everything looks good here. How about now?
Let me just check on my side with the media. 1 second.
Mhm. Yeah. So while our guest Ashaay is kind of straightening things out on his end, I'm hoping
Yeah,
that
I
you
just
can. I'm hoping that you can give me the heads up or the hands up so that we know that you can hear. That's going to be helpful.
So my volume hasn't changed. It's still low, and everything's up on my side.
Okay. So we'll work what we have as long as you can hear
Okay.
me. So let's get started into things here. Something things can straighten out on its own. And the reason why I said is that I have a few IT folks, that really work on, on certain things behind the scene. So they have developed a website for me for a project that's coming up. And it looks different based on whatever computer I'm using. And to me, it's not making any sense because if I share that link, right, that web link, I want people to see the correct information and so forth. And the guy said, assured me, he said to me, Narine, you don't worry about anything, it's gonna fix itself. And coincidentally, when I checked earlier today, everything was just perfect. So I'm hoping that things will be a lot better here. Looks like I'm hoping you can hear me. You can
Everything's
still hear me?
perfect. I can hear you vaguely, but everything other than that, the visuals, everything is awesome.
Okay. So we'll work with what we have, folks. I'm not sure what's going on. Everything kind of looking okay. And we want to make sure we don't interfere with anything else here. So I mean, I played a clip. Obviously, that was the president of Guyana. For those of you who didn't recognize the speaker, and that was Neil from Newsroom during the interview there. So that's not I'm not taking any credit for that video. I just grab it off the internet there. So I just get that out of the way. So you're aware of the situation, Ashaay. Um, you're not from Ghana, but you visited Ghana. I want to start off first with your visit to Ghana and what was that like? Because you spent a lot of time in that area where the incident took place, where the boat sank. What was your experience like exploring Guyana, so to speak, during that time? Tell us about that.
So, Doctor, to set the premise, let me start by, first of all, I have a lot of Guyanese friends over here in the U.S. And I have a lot of uh, prominent Guyanese people who have like big shows and that kind of stuff. And I perform for them and stuff at events, and get into every time I perform like at an event, I get to know them personally. Some names like Vasu and Kumar and those guys, and Navin and those guys. So I get to know these people, and we become very personal. So you kind of get to know the culture of these people. And having said that, it now throws me to Guyana. So these people are so kind and so loving, and they love the Bollywood music, and they really appreciate me and what I do. So, what really started this whole project? I want to talk about, the new doctor's clinic, Sachinja
Mhm.
Kamraj. He's such an amazing guy. He owns a new doctor's clinic, and he's a philanthropist, and he helps a lot of people. And he's the one that reached out to me, and we started this project. And he said, let's bring it to Guyana, because I made a joke and I was like, I'm going to be in New York and we'll be filming the video with Naresh Singh. He's from New York. He does all my videos and stuff. And we're going to meet a team like Telly Ali and stuff, and we'll do it over there. And he was like, I was like, you please come and be in the video because, he said, let's bring the whole project to Guyana. And, I've been in Guyana before. I've been there in 2023 where I performed with Abhijit.
Mhm.
But I didn't really stay. I just went there, went to the hotel, performed, went back to the hotel, and came back to the U.S. here in Florida where I live. So I didn't really get a chance to really immerse myself in the culture in Guyana itself. So I couldn't really say much.
Mhm.
But pivoting to this point where I had the opportunity 2 months before to build everything that's going to be happening and to get, mentally fit for this project and speaking with the team and with Sachi Angel and stuff. It was so exciting because it takes a lot to get me excited. And it was so exciting for me to go to Guyana and do this project. And, they keep saying that it's going to be a time in your life that you will never forget. And remember jumping on the plane and heading over there very excited, landing and going through the new airport and meeting the people that he put together to meet me and stuff. And the minute I landed, the minute I went through immigration, the love just started. Everybody is just so accommodating, so beautiful. So the whole spirit, it was just so amazing. I met the driver and stuff, and then we went to the hotel. So the whole experience in the beginning was so amazing. So I was so excited. And then I had Naresh Singh, who does my videos. He picked me up the next day, and we went and we started seeing all the beautiful places by the seawall, and he explained to me what happens and that kind of stuff, and prepared me. And we did a small little video, and we met people that you don't even know, you never met in your life, showing you so much love. We had, I saw the place being so beautiful, the infrastructure. I even made a video saying that people who speak about Guyana today, they're being rather modest, because the place is so well developed that there were certain parts that we will drive through, Dr. Narayan. And I would ask myself, am I still in West Palm Beach? And the development is so, it's happening every day, every infrastructure. We passed by the new bridge. So it was such a beautiful sight for me, for the first time, getting to really encapsulate this whole Guyana experience. And this wasn't even about starting to head to the islands yet. So moving forward now, for the day that when they pick us up and we were heading to the islands, the whole experience was so surreal. It was like you're looking at a movie. Everybody has a certain part. Sati put a team together, and everyone was responsible for a certain part to make things happen. So then he picked me up at the hotel in Georgetown. We drove to Parika, and on the way to Parika, we will stop and see certain places. He has a couple different places where he does his business. And then we reached to the Parika by the dock there, and we came out and heading to experience this whole new thing. And I saw the river, and I had many questions that I would ask, because the tide goes up and comes down sometimes, and I would ask many questions about this experience, about what I'm seeing. And you can't really explain it in words, but what I can say, it was so surreal. Getting into the boat, the teamwork, the love, the people, the way they respect you, the way they receive you. So we got into the boat, and we ended up on the same river, on the Essequibo River. And we use a speedboat, which was very, very thrilling and exciting, to say the least, because when we passed by the ferry. I don't know if it was the MV Barima ferry, but I know it was one of those ferries that carries the cars and stuff. And but on the way, the journey, the boat, it was moving so fast, man. Like, I grew up in Trinidad and Tobago, my younger days, and we would, of course, it's an island, and we would go down the islands to say, and we use the boats and stuff, and hang out to the islands. So I have that experience in me. But this was like a different experience. It was very, very cinematic, to say the least, because the view and actually being immersed in it, man. It's like you look at movies and you're actually living this now. So we went into the boat, and everybody's so happy, and we're so excited because we're on this journey to do this music video for this song, and here in Guyana doing it. And like, I was asking questions, talking to the well, not the captain, but the guy who is leading the boat. He has his way of doing his things, and the boat will bump up real fast, like moving like 60 miles an hour, and bump up, and you'll be jumping up, and the water sometimes splashes in and stuff. So moving to the tragedy that happened, like going through this experience, I could kind of like, and being there, I could kind of like try to understand a little bit about what happened. But so we reached the islands, and we reached the Essequibo Island. We did the show. I met all these people. So I say all of that to say that my experience. I don't want to dive too much into this music
Yeah.
video. It's not about why we're here today.
Mm.
But I set the premise so that people could understand that I was there.
Mhm,
So in being in the boat, like, I'm a kind of like a survivor guy. I like that kind of stuff. So you ask yourself, okay, plan B. Let's just say this boat would have tip over. What are you going to do? So they had the life jackets and stuff and everything there. And you're looking and you're just thinking to yourself, and feeling that love from the people in the island, and how successful everybody are in their own way. It was just so amazing. We went to Mashaba Island. We went to Fort Island, where Satyendra, he born and he grew up in that island. We met the people. We found about the history, as the video would represent. And now moving forward to, so I really found out the tragedy happened, I want to say between 10 and 11 on the Saturday night last. So which is everything is so fresh. So on behalf of all the Trinidadian community, all the artists, everyone here in the US and Florida, my family, my friends, everyone, our heart goes out to our beautiful Guyanese people. Because we wake up this morning and we wake up with with our mom, with your wife, with your husband. There are families that are waking up this morning and trying to realize if this is a dream, and I can go on and on, but I would
Now, so thank you so much. And so I asked you a question for a reason. I wanted you to share your experience there. Obviously, people are seeing lots of stuff happening. People are expressing themselves openly. People are upset. People are angry. All of these types of things. People have different ways to express their emotions and things of that sort, right? A lot of blaming as well and whatnot. When you heard of this situation, knowing that your husband, I'm not sure if you have kids, you have to forgive me here. Do you have kids at all? That's not a
no, I
question I
don't.
usually ask people. And so, but your husband, obviously your family man, because your mom is with you, came to visit you and all of that. And I was able to hear, a few times you were asking mom, are you okay and so forth, right? And things of that sort, which I really thought was a special thing. When you heard of this, knowing that you have recently visited Guyana, I mean, at the end of the day, it's people, there's a little bit of a closeness there in its own way and whatnot. What went through your mind when you realized that this is real, that, this is not a movie per se?
So first of all, so like we kept in communication. We have a group chat, about the video and stuff. So we were
Mm-hmm.
talking up to the night before, the day before, having fun and that kind of stuff, talking about, now that everything came out and we were satisfied. And all of a sudden, we had it's Satna Ryan, Kimraj, Naresh Singh, HD, Hari
Mm-hmm.
Danva. We were all of a sudden, I just didn't hear from these guys, and we were in the middle of conversations that easy to reply because it's like you're communicating, all of a sudden there's a break in communication. So I
Mm-hmm.
didn't hear from these guys all day Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
and so I didn't know what was going on. And for some reason, unfortunate reason, I wasn't aware what had happened. So is coming Monday morning now. I found out what happened, and the team came back together, and we started to talk a little bit about it. But me personally, I didn't want to jump to any conclusions because I wasn't aware of actually what exactly happened. Yeah, we heard
Mm-hmm.
that the boat capsized and people, a lot of people are missing. And me being so optimistic, I was thinking, well, okay, the Coast Guard are going to come. It's a boat. I
Mm-hmm.
saw it. Probably people are
Mm-hmm.
swimming. But then
Mm-hmm.
when I actually put some thought into it, because I didn't know exactly what was going on. I didn't know about the tragedy in terms of how many people were on the boat, how many people might have succumbed to the tragedy, how many people might have been missing. I didn't know all the details yet. So I started to think, because one of the experience, Dr. Narayan, is that
Mm-hmm.
we spent that whole Sunday finishing up the video. And
Mm-hmm.
we actually went back in the night. And boats are not supposed to go back in the night. But, it's the islands and, well, it's
Mm-hmm.
Guyana. And, they have the guys who can close their eyes and head back from let's say, Essequibo Coast to Georgetown, or as let's say the unfortunate tragedy happened from Fort Kaituma back to Georgetown. The guys that can close their eyes can do that every day, right? But one thing that jumped out to me and that kind of put me back to think about the tragedy is that we couldn't see anything, doctor. You can't see anything. It's so dark.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like at certain points you're just hoping, man, I just hope that we don't hit anything and we reach back safe. So this is me. I'm a big grown man and I'm
Mm-hmm.
concerned about that kind of stuff. So when I kind of found out about, like, the first thing that people spoke about is like how many kids went missing, how many kids were on that boat, how many kids were in transit back from school, from graduation, all that kind of stuff. And me as a grown man who could swim and is able,
Mm-hmm.
these kids and that experience and having the knowledge about when a boat sink, what it does, and in terms of vacuum in the water and all that kind of the experience, you can't see, but you're just yelling for your people, for your family, for your loved ones. You're in a point now of survival, so you're not really rational. You're just trying to survive, stay alive. So to kind of answer your question, I cannot answer your question, but what I can
Mhm,
say, it just scared me. It
mhm,
scared me so much, doctor, that these people, these beautiful people, had to go through that. And I am not in a position to jump to any conclusions as far
mhm,
as reactions to the
mhm,
tragedy and that kind of stuff. And I'm not going to put myself there.
mhm.
They're people, but all I want to say, Guyana, we love you. To all the people who went through this and who's going through this, um, this is something that is you would never, like, right now. Don't try to even get over it. We believe in our faith. The only thing I can say is that let's depend on our faith. We pray to a God, a living God, and God is the only one that can give us that strength to go through this event right now. But our hearts and our prayers are with you guys, and we wish that you never had to go through this.
Absolutely, for sure. I mean, this is a big thing, right? This is a big thing. People die every day, but something like this, it's hard, extremely hard. It was very hard for me to kind of look at a father who had to basically bury his wife and his three kids. That was extremely difficult. Not necessarily for me, yeah, only, but so many other people. That's very hard. Like I could almost feel the pain in the voice and things of that sort. So you and I and people who would like to support, and whatnot, there's only so much we can do, right? There's only so much we can do. We can offer, some hope and things of that sort, and that's what we're doing here. What I would like to do though, I want to play just a couple of second clip here. This was a gathering, a prayer reflection, that they did in Guyana. I'm sure they did many. Yeah, but I want to kind of highlight this so folks who missed it can kind of, have a good sense as to what's happening and what folks could do to kind of heal in that sense, right? Try to connect. Keep in mind, today's show is a little bit different. And so we hope that you can engage with us as well too in this kind of way. And so I'm going to play a little bit of a clip here, a little bit of a clip just to honor everybody who is affected. I just kind of did that. I wanted to do that because I think you know any little thing we can do to kind of keep things alive is important. And so it goes to show though that in situation like this, people do find a way to come together, right? Lots of investment in terms of the community coming together, doing whatever they can to really kind of you know offer some sort of hope, not only to the people who are affected in terms of relatives and who lost life, but the community as a whole. So thank you for sharing, your experience rather, visiting Guyana, and so forth. I know that I'm the one, I'm not an expert per se, but I'm the one who work in mental health, I work in grief and all of that. But your opinion matters here. I want you to kind of know that. As an individual, who's very mature mentally, you have a very good head on your shoulder and things of that sort. How do you, as an individual, I mean, you have close connection with the folks in Ghana. What do you do to kind of manage, these kinds of additional stress kind of thing? Because it will touch you, right? As you mentioned, in some shape or form, right?
So, doctor, I what I would like to say is that togetherness. Right now, the people,
Mm,
the
mm-hmm,
victims and their families and stuff, they need people around them.
mm-hmm,
In a time like this, because you want to grab to someone. Could you imagine the
mm-hmm,
dad, the father? I believe his name is Nathaniel. I had a chance to listen to his story, and it was just so heartbreaking. I mean, there is no there are no other situations in the world that could be as bad as his situation right now. To have to not just accidents happen on the highways, stuff happens, and we lose loved ones and stuff, but to be in this situation, in the tragedy itself, for him to be there where he was with his brother, and all of a sudden this happened, the boat twist. He his family slid out of the boat. His brother slid out. He don't know where they went. So he has to now live with the fact that he experienced that to himself. What's going through in his heart, also realize that my wife, and he loved his wife so much, doctor. He expressed how much he loved his wife, how much his wife means to him. His father, which are the children's grandfather, they're
yeah,
such a close people. And we who came from the islands and stuff, man. I mean, not to discount anybody else, but we
yeah,
have this
yeah,
closeness with family. So now is a time where anyone who can take this time and try to spend with the families. I don't want to, I hate using the word victims.
mhm,
Spend with the family, because they're going to be a point in time when they're going to have to deal with it on their own. So I heard the grandfather said this. He said that when all the dust settles and everybody goes back to their business, and because bills has to be paid, children has to go to school, you have to go back to your life. What's going to happen to them when they sit down by themselves? He said all he could visualize is his grandkids, how much they wait for him every second, everything that you turn around and you look at reminds you of your loved one. So to answer your question, I want to believe that if we could just stick together in prayer and just stay and stay in touch, make that phone call, go by and spend time and be there and show that love, that's going to help, I believe.
yeah. Absolutely. There's nothing more powerful than connecting with people. That I can tell you with confidence for sure. So thank you for sharing that. I didn't mean to put you in the spot there, but I also want you to know that your opinion matters. We all have different experiences, in life and whatnot. And different people, handle different situations differently. Grief in itself, one thing I can say is that there's no one way to kind of embrace it, right? And it is not something to fix. And for those of you who are watching and listening, or will be watching and listening at some point, grief, is not something for people to fix, but more so to learn to kind of embrace and kind of navigate, right? So something to keep in mind, because I'm aware, we all are aware that so many people are affected and things of that sort. So thank you so much for that. What I want to do though, with our few minutes that left, I know the time goes by fast here. Earlier you talk about your visit to Guyana. Obviously, you went to do a specific project, and I'm glad that you were willing and open to kind of really, share that piece of things. Do know I respect that part of it. Obviously, when you were here, previously, we focused specifically on what you love so much, your music, a passion for music, which you're really good at. You've really made a name for yourself. We cannot deny that as well. and which is a beautiful thing, right? Music itself, it's such of a good therapy. Speaking of that, it's a beautiful thing as well too. So we do not want to kind of let that slide as well too. While we are at it, if it's okay with you, it will be my honor to feature the project that you've kind of done most recently in Ghana. But before I do any of that, um, tell me a little bit about that project. How did it came about, and all of that? Because we spoke a little bit before, off camera, and I was able to feel excitement. I was able to see that project, and it was nicely put together. There's no question about that. And I want to showcase that to the folks who are watching, listening. But I want you to tell me a little bit about that. But do know I appreciate you sharing a little bit about your experience visiting Guyana, how you feel as an individual based on the unfortunate situation with so many people lost their lives. But I also want to acknowledge the fact that um, what you do it for the passion, right? Yeah, you do it because you love it. You do it for the people. You've done it for people that include the Guyanese people. That's one of the reasons you've made the effort to visit Guyana and whatnot. Tell me about that project. How did it came about, so the folks can get to know more?
Thank you. So basically, a little bit about me in a nutshell. I have a passion for music. I love it. I love the when I perform for people, the love I get, the energy, and that kind of stuff. So my platform is to basically share joy. I do my music because I enjoy what I do, and I want it to be reflected in my music videos. So this project came about because my last project that we released with you, which was Mera Ek Sapna Hai. You do music. Not to repeat myself, but you do music and you hope that it's received in a nice way. The most important thing is that I do it from my heart. So I do it with a laugh and with a joy and that kind of stuff. And I hope that it resonates the way and represents the way that I do it. So we got great success from that song, Mera Ek Sapna Hai. And to move to the next one, so normally I do like 5 or 6 songs a year. This year, this is my second song. Why? Because Mira Ke Sapna Hai did so well that I didn't want to come and rush and do anything. I try to enjoy that one. And so moving to this project, Rup Tera. So I love to sing my Bollywood song. I represent the Bollywood community. We put a flavor to it because I'm from the Caribbean and I can't get away from that. I sing my songs in a different kind of way. I sing it so that people can sing along with it, but I put a different vibes to it because the producers bring a different music to it. No point in doing a song the same way like the original. So I try to put that joy into it. So this project we had to pivot from where we were to something as good or something even better because I try to learn from my mistakes. I try to learn from things that I could have done differently and practice it in the next project that I'm doing. So I called together the best, man. I had one of the best producers, Maha Studios, Rishi Mahato. I called in DJ Big Daddy from 106 FM. I called in Rishi Ram, and we all were in a call together. A call. We trying to figure out what's the next song. We spent about 45 minutes trying to find this song, and my sponsor, he believed in me. He believes in me. He believed that whatever I choose to do or whatever, it's gonna come out intriguing or whatever. So he kind of he's in the background. He's just making everything happen, that kind of stuff. So we got into the discussion of the music, and it was very very exciting to say the least because you have Mass Studios. You have the best. I had the best, I believe, in everything that in the business, in everything that they do. They're the best in it. So we started to come up with certain songs and stuff, and then they came up with this song, and they started to have their dialogues and stuff where he could put some exciting music to this song, and I was like, Ruptida, it's been a wrong, it's been there, it's a Bollywood song, but he goes, Ashay, it's not going to be the way that you know it is. I remembered from doing other songs in the past, it definitely changed up, and then he mentioned that this really jumps out to me and stays with me. He goes, would you give up the opportunity of having one of your biggest songs? Would you give up? And a man like Maha, who's very humble, when he said that, I kind of like rocked back a little bit, and I was like, for him to say this, he has to have a lot of confidence in this song. He's very good at what he does. he's very confident in everything that he does. But the way that he said that pertaining to this project that we're doing, I was like, you know what? Let's do it. So they said that he's gonna do the music, and I got the music in like 2 days, Dr. Narayan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there were times I had to wait a whole year and a half to get music from certain people, but I got this music in 2 days. And you know me with my small business and other things that I do with my performance and stuff. I had to actually map out when I was gonna get this vocals done to get it in time to release because I was flying to somewhere. I was flying to do a show, and it was based on this song, so we had to get it done. And he sent the music, and I started vibes into the music, and it was just so different. I even called him back, and I was like, "You, how you did this, man?" He said, "Well, he do his thing," and so everybody was so excited. And they even mentioned, they go, okay, so when you go in the studio, please call us so that they could be there listening on a Zoom call or whatever, um, listening to so they could tell me to do any corrections. I say, guys, with all due respect, I've been doing this for a while right now, and if I have to do that, you're not going to get the best from me. So I say, I'm going to do it because, again, it goes back to the fact that you don't want to do a song. You want to do it in your vibes because it's been working for me. And you don't want to be have somebody next to you saying, okay, try to do this a different way. I learned the diction of the song. I learned the words of the song. I found out the meaning of the song because there's a language barrier. Of course, we are from Indian descent, but born in the Caribbean, Trinidad, we speak English. So there's a language barrier. However, there's an instinctive thing that was instilled in us from my dad being a singer and me being immersed in the culture. So I make sure I learned the words properly as best as I could have. And when I went to do this song, and I know I'm going to articulate it properly and make this happen. So I needed me. That was my job to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I needed to do that the best way that I could. So I went into the studio, and this song, there are songs in the past I did take like three tries to do it, and that kind of stuff. This song I nailed it in one shot because the vibes was there in the studio, and it just happened. So that's how the song came about. And it's a real love song. It's about the guy falling in love with this woman, intoxicated in love with this woman, and he's hoping he's making the right decision. That's what the meaning of the song. So you have to and we put a beat to it. So you have to still act that part. It's not like you don't understand what you're singing. So that's how the song itself came about.
Awesome. So repeat back that piece what you said. What's the meaning of the song you said?
It's Rupatera Mastana.
And what's the
Or
meaning?
the, or the meaning or
Yeah,
it's a guy. I'm in love with this woman. I'm intoxicated in love with this woman, and I'm hoping that I'm not just moving on my emotions with her. I'm hoping I make the right decision in love with this woman because love is blind, right?
yeah. And speaking of love, it goes to show that we all have experienced the kind of love those folks had for their spouse and partner and whatnot. I'm referring to the situation there. You can feel it based on what they've said and all of that. And so what we'll do, I just thought to ask you the meaning of the song just to be sure. So we'll kind of obviously showcase this right now to the people who've been supporting you, even your newer folks as well will be probably watching it for the first time. But based on our knowledge here, because neither of us know it all, the good pieces in it, and I love that aspect. Love is a powerful thing. We'll dedicate it to the people who are affected as well. And music is universal. There's no language barrier when it comes to music, and I think it is appropriate for us to kind of do that while you're here because this is our way to honor and respect you as a person as well too. And so I hope everybody gets it and understand it kind of thing. I'm just trying to kind of make it clear. Right. So all right, so what we'll do, we'll feature this beautiful project by our guests who recently visited Guyana. If you miss the show, the early part of the show, you want to watch it. You want to replay it at the end of the show where he shared his experience visiting Ghana. He talked about, how lovely the folks are and all of those types of things. And here we are kind of have to spend the time to talk about it because of the unfortunate situation in Ghana. but we also want to take the opportunity to feature this beautiful song of his, something he loves, he does with passion. So let's all enjoy it together now.
रूप तेरा मस्ताना प्यार मेरा दीवाना भूल कोई हमसे ना हो जाए रूप तेरा मस्ताना प्यार मेरा दीवाना भूल कोई हमसे ना हो जाए रूप तेरा मस्ताना प्यार मेरा दीवाना भूल कोई हमसे ना हो जाए रात नशीली मस्त समा है आज नशे में सारा जहां है रात नशीली मस्त समा है आज नशे में सारा जहां है आए शराबी मौसम बहकाए रूप तेरा मस्ताना प्यार मेरा दीवाना भूल कोई हमसे ना हो जाए रूप तेरा मस्ताना प्यार मेरा दीवाना भूल कोई हमसे ना हो जाए आंखों से आंखें मिलती है ऐसे बेचैन होके तूफान में जैसे आंखों से आंखें मिलती है ऐसे बेचैन होके तूफान में जैसे मौज कोई साहिल से टकराए रूप तेरा मस्ताना प्यार मेरा दीवाना भूल कोई हमसे ना हो जाए रूप तेरा मस्ताना प्यार मेरा दीवाना भूल कोई हमसे ना हो जाए रूप तेरा मस्ताना प्यार मेरा दीवाना भूल कोई हमसे ना हो जाए रूप तेरा मस्ताना प्यार मेरा दीवाना भूल कोई हमसे ना हो जाए रूप तेरा मस्ताना प्यार मेरा दीवाना भूल कोई हमसे ना हो जाए
All right. First of all, oh, whoops, let me just start this off. Yeah, first of all, nicely done. I have to tell you that amazing work. The music, it's so nicely done. I mean, you are good in what you do. We don't have to repeat ourselves there. The passion, I have to tell you, that emotion when you were singing the song, because that song, for those of you who may have missed it, was all filmed in Guyana. And the fact that everybody, is keeping an eye on things in terms of what's happening and the unfortunate situation as we talked about. I really feel it that because it goes to show what music can do. And then you look like a star in that video. That's tell you for sure. Amazing job. Good for you. And I hope you keep going. And I'll get it out of the way because we all have all kind of people out there. If for some reason, you have one or two people, which is not uncommon to do any negative thing about that video, they really need to check themselves. That's very for sure. I'll leave that as that. So what was it like to watch about that? Because I can see how you were very focused watching a project that you are so much proud of.
So, doctor, let me start by saying that I haven't shared this with anyone yet, except my personal circle. Um, so I performed at Jack Dish. I did a show there at Jack Dish the Saturday night, and I didn't know what to expect when we. So Jack Dish's place is right here, and right next
Mhm,
door he has the hotel. We have a big ad that's coming out with that,
mhm,
the guest house and the hotel.
mhm,
And Satyendra, he booked that whole guest house for us. And so I performed there, and I came outside the evening getting ready to go to the show, and the place was filled with people. There's no place for people to park. Walking up that stairs, that took like probably just about 30 seconds, and seeing how many people inside with their phones out and that kind of stuff, it felt like about an hour. So I say that to say that I got so much love from the people there. And the project, I mean, looking back at this video today, like I've looked at the video many, many times, like the team, I could go on about the team and what we did, but I feel today is not so much about that. Today's to talk
mhm,
about how, this video represents the beautiful part of Guyana. And we cannot take the whole of Guyana is beautiful in its own way. But this part, to me, I have heard that there's a lot of people who live in Guyana haven't even been to these islands yet, some of them, and been through the experience that I've been through. So having been there and doing this, I look at this video, and there's a lot of mixed emotions bouncing around in my head. Today, as I look as you played, as we had this discussion and what's going on with the tragedy and stuff, we will never forget that. I got very emotional. I got very, very emotional. So I am kind of lost for words right now. But what I want to say is that let's look at this video, and this video, not so much me, not so much the
mhm,
song, but let's look at the environs of the video where it was shot. That represent how beautiful the island of Guyana and the people of Guyana are. And I want to try to lean to the tragedy. I want to take this opportunity. And for what I've been seeing, I changing it a little bit, is that all the people around the world that's trying to reach out to help this tragedy. We can't bring people back to life, but we can show that support, financially, morally, physically. They like Trinidad, they're all ready to go. They're ready to go there and do what they have to do. And I'm sure the U.S. also, and the neighboring country, because Guyana is bordered by Venezuela and Brazil and Suriname. So this is like, it's. So I am so happy to see the love that's pouring out for this. And people sometimes, the sad thing about life is sometimes it takes a tragedy for us to become better in what we do. I don't want to be the one to say that, but it's a facts of life. But everybody, they're showing resilience, and they're showing where they're going to I have to be correct with the words I use, but please forgive me, where they're going to move forward. Not forget what happened, and no, it's too young. No, it just
mhm,
happened.
mhm,
But we need the people, the cooperation of the whole community of the world, and the people, the friends and the family, to stick with these people. But all our video did, and I wanna say this. This project wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for the new doctors clinic Satyendra Kemraj. The things he did to make this happen, the logistics behind it. Naresh Singh, who don't ever compromise when he's doing a video. HD Harry Danva, who flew from New York and came and captured everything. We have a behind the scenes video. But we did that video to represent the best parts and the Dutch history back in 1744, with the things that happened and the place that it happened in the Essequibo Island and Fort Island and so on, Doctor.
All right, thank you so much. I'm sure now this video will have a different kind of meaning for you as well too. So which is great. So I want you to know that I appreciate you joining here. But before we kind of close off, let me take a minute or two to kind of acknowledge one or two people, or a few seconds rather. It is summertime now, so a lot of people are doing the walks and things of that sort. So people will be watching this show, later on, and all of these types of things. But I want to acknowledge that Rohit Chan is watching him, and I wanted to say hello to him. I want to say hello to John from Queens, Ken Rampersad, James watching from Guyana. Thank you so much, sir. And I
Hi
got your
Rohit, hi John from Queens, hi
message.
guys, how you all doing? I can't really see who's
Yeah.
on, but Rohit Chan, his music is amazing, man. He motivates me. Rohit, keep doing what you're doing, brother. You're an amazing guy. Your music is amazing, and we all love your music. John from Queens, thank you so much for making a lot of things happen, man. Yeah.
Yeah, Tasif, I want to say hello to you as well too. And obviously I cannot see everybody as well too. Sahid, um, I want to say special hello to Dr. Chedi. We have from Trinidad, coincidentally, is watching here. He lives in Canada here. Thank you so much. And you mentioned something about, I don't want to make this into something different, but while we have the opportunity, I think it's important. Thank you for acknowledging Rohit Chan uniqueness with his music. I think he's made a name from for himself to brand himself, uniquely, which is great. That's awesome. We want to do that. So James, I will respond to you. I got your message. Just so you know, I'll respond to you privately regarding some of the stuff. Yeah, so we have not to discriminate here, but we have African people say we love his music, responding to you. So you're making an impact here. I want you to know that. That's
Doctor,
awesome.
not to cut you, so one of the things that I was debating if I should mention, one of the things
Mhm,
that I did and I
mhm,
sacrificed to make this whole thing happen. So moving back to the concert, to
mhm,
the show. When I finished that show, so I had something to eat, which was like 1 a.m. Went back
mhm,
to the hotel, and I told myself, I say, you know what? I want to put everything and be so focused on this project that's going to happen tomorrow that I am going to fast with no food, only water for until I reach back to Florida. And when I did the math, it would have been 36 hours. So
So,
one of
mhm.
the things that I did, that not that's just me, all right? I'm not telling anybody to
Oh
do
no, no.
this.
Mhm.
In the past, we've spoken about this when we had our health conversations and stuff. So one of the things that I did is I fasted. I didn't have anything to eat, and as the hours went by, I had more energy and more focus. I wanted to do more in this video. So that's one of the things I wanted to mention,
Mhm.
that really, really helped me because I wanted to do everything. I wanted to dot all my I's and cross all my T's about this project. This project wasn't just, and one of the things I said, people was like, it'd be nice to put a nice chick, quote unquote, a nice girl in this video to dance and, to be
Mhm.
spinning around. I was like, you know what? This video is not about highlighting anything of that sort. I've done that in the past. I
Mhm.
love my beautiful woman. I love my sexy woman, I must say. In general, in music,
Mhm.
that kind of thing, and
Mhm.
looking at
Mhm.
videos, that kind of stuff. But this video, when I had the knowledge of where I'm going to do this video and the history of where I'm doing it, I wanted to pay respect and represent it in a proper way. Because you only have to be in Essequibo Island, Mashabo Island, Fort Island, where Satnarayan Kameraj is from, to really understand what it is I went through and what it is I'm speaking about. So I just thank you for giving me the opportunity to share that part of it, Doctor.
No, this is awesome. So keep in mind, this is not an ending here, right? We'll have you back on down the road, things of that sort. Um, but I'm glad you took the time to kind of join here. Continue what you're doing. Continue to be the individual you are. You love music. There's no question about that. But there's a difference between loving something and being good at it, right? That's what the difference is, and you are good at it. So that's what the difference is. Not condemning anybody in any shape or form here. You've done well. You've really branded yourself well. People know who you are. People know the name. You have a good stage present and things of that sort. And it's amazing that people eventually find themselves, what works for them, what makes them feel comfortable on the stage and things of that sort. And it's a beautiful thing. And so I wish you nothing but the best. I want you to kind of know
Thank
that.
you.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. So I'm giving you the opportunity to say any last minute thing, just in case. I think you've said it, just in case. If not, we'll wrap it up and I'll kind of get the song going again as we finish off.
Okay, Doctor, thank you for that. So I just want to say, anyways, guys, all you guys who are listening in New York, all my friends, family, and my fans in New York, I will be there on the weekend of August the 8th at Montrose Flamingo performing there. So it'd be nice for you guys to come out and have fun. You know how we do it over there. Having said that, this project wouldn't have happened without the team headlined by the New Doctors Clinic. Naresh Singh from New York, who does all these amazing videos. He never compromises. HD, the team Ashaay from Teddy Ali and the boys from New York. All the guys Kenneth and Clyde and all those guys from New York who are part of the New Doctors Clinic. I just want to say thank you guys so much. You know, thank you to all the listeners. Thank you to God most of all. And I want to say, again, from everyone around the world, we love you, the people in Guyana, man, who are going through that tragedy right now. Our prayers and our thoughts from all my friends, my family, my fans. We love you guys. If there's anything that we can do to our capacity, please reach out to us. Today wasn't so much about the music video. Dr. Narine, thank you so much for having me. But it had a little
connection
correlation with
there.
each other, you know. So it was nice that we were able to talk about it, and I wouldn't stop talking about the tragedy, and I'm hoping that and I know God is going to continue to shine His light. So thank you guys so much. You can check out the music on YouTube. All our artists like Roy Chan and all the other guys, and John from Queens and West Indian Chutney channel with all the music. Dr. Narine, I have to say that your accolade list is growing so much. I see all these things happening for you in terms of achievements and stuff. Where you from let's say 5 years ago to now, and 5 years ago you were so filled with accolades, and today you got so many more. Thank you for doing what you do, and you're very, very strong at what you do. And thank you so much for having me on this platform, Doctor.
All right. So, my dear fellow listeners and viewers, as we are officially approaching the end of tonight's program, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for tuning in to the Dr. Narine Dat Show. On behalf of myself and our very special guest, Ashaay, both of us would like to join together, wish you a great today and even a better tomorrow. We leave you now with this beautiful project that he did in Guyana. So, enjoy.
Thank you.
प्यार मेरा दीवाना भूल कोई हमसे ना हो जाए रूप तेरा मस्ताना प्यार मेरा दीवाना भूल कोई हमसे ना हो जाए रूप तेरा मस्ताना प्यार मेरा दीवाना भूल कोई हमसे ना हो जाए रात नशीली मस्त समा है आज नशे में सारा जहां है रात नशीली मस्त समा है आज नशे में सारा जहां है आए शराबी मौसम बहकाए रूप तेरा मस्ताना प्यार मेरा दीवाना भूल कोई हमसे ना हो जाए रूप तेरा मस्ताना प्यार मेरा दीवाना भूल कोई हमसे ना हो जाए आंखों से आंखें मिलती है ऐसे बेचैन होके तूफान जैसे आंखों से आंखें मिलती है ऐसे बेचैन होके तूफान जैसे मौज कोई साहिल से टकराए रूप तेरा मस्ताना